Survival games are one of the most important parts of my channel. I really love to review especially the new ones, the unique ones, and especially the games that are in early access because it's always interesting to look how the game develops through the years, with updates, with the kind of like full releases from the time, and overall it's a very interesting experience to take a look at them. Today's game is Wild West Dynasty, which has been requested quite a lot in my comments, and I've seen a lot of people are talking about it in discords and so on. And this is a game that is role play. It is not only survival, it's also life simulation, resource management, it's also a city building, and it's also a very bad game. Yes, it's quite a bold statement for the first 40 seconds of the review, but believe me, well, I have reasons to say this, because it has really some bad things in it. Considering how much success had another game from this studio called Medieval Dynasty and how much I love it, well, Wild West Dynasty has something wrong in it. So what is it exactly? If you really want to find out and you want to know a lot about this game, or maybe you like this game and you want to hear why someone doesn't like it, then sit down and maybe enjoy this video. If you're a subscriber of my channel, please press the like button. And if you're the new one, then well, let's begin it. So Wild West Dynasty is basically a game that combines a lot of genres. The question is, does it make success in at least one of these genres? Well, the answer is quite complicated, because there is actually kind of little glimpse of hope, but overall, well, everything looks bad here. The first gameplay trailer showed the cowboy shooting a bear, and it all looked really very interesting. The game is not only about survival, we had heard a lot of things going on, that you can have a pig's egg, you can build your house. The game is developed by the studio that already did a great game called Medieval Dynasty, called by the way by Top Leads Production. And overall it looks like a very interesting first-person RPG, but is it in reality what it was presented to us? Well, not 100%. Well, so what is it that I don't like in the game? So for the beginning, I would like to say that there is some kind of things like, for example, crafting and inventory management that are actually quite good in this game, and it's easy to understand for anyone who plays it, which is really pleasant and surprising for the genre that relies wholly on complex menus. And if I didn't mention yet, it's about, well, the cowboys in this game, which you can understand from Wild West and already by what you see on your screen. There is one thing that really does bad here, and it's the main thing, it's a poor performance. The game manages to capture the atmosphere of Wild West with its sweeping widths and color scheme. But, however, the game suffers from the cloned NPCs, the subpar graphics that literally look like something that made it in 1 hour. While the game is in early access and it's cost around $20, which is cause of the concern for considering it hit or the miss nature for early access games. While games like Medieval Dynasty and Valheim, they all kind of started not really that good, but then it kind of developed. So why is it actually that bad? Should I continue it? Well, yes, I should, and I actually will explain to you a lot of things that I don't like here. Compared to Medieval Dynasty, the access was really very bad, because Medieval Dynasty had actually quite not bad beginning of the game, and after that few updates and it was better and better. Here we have a really very poor start. I would actually say that the performance here is really terrible. Starting from the graphics, like I said, it's all the textures are looking really very bad. It feels like we're playing a kind of like a really very old kind of bale of the game that was literally presented few maybe days before the game was actually had an idea. Typically, a lot of MMO and survival games in this categorization of Wild West Falls have a lot of kind of like prolonged early access followed by a basic updates that gets the game running. But I feel like here, it feels like something is not gonna go on here. I would like to support the developers in this process, maybe to see what they can do. But overall, the game is very buggy, which is another thing. Every time you need to reload the game and start it from the beginning. It's funny, like you begin the game, you're playing a survival kind of type of game, and then in one moment you just literally start a city building game, which doesn't feel right. You feel like something is wrong here, something is missing. You cannot feel like fully this is the game that must be played in this way, how the developers thought of it. Is the atmosphere at least something cool here? No, the atmosphere is not. Your character is kind of buggy. You don't have good weapons. The combat is here is very awful, to be honest. I don't even know what else good to say except from the kind of like in crafting materials menus and other things like that. Overall, it's a bad game. So, do I recommend Wild West Dynasty? No. And believe me,